All right, hi there, folks, people tuning in. I just make so many videos about my reptiles because I've mentioned before that it's so easy to make content, and I truly do enjoy to a whole new level my reptiles. I love my dog. My dog is as close to a human as can be, but my reptiles do bring me a lot of enjoyment. So I make videos on them because they're on my mind and a part of my life. So hopefully you enjoy a lot of my videos that I produce. I love my car. Like to make more videos on the car and the Sur-Ron and things, but these are just things that every day that I'm around, when I wake up, when I go to bed, and they need my love and my attention, where the car is more of a material thing, and the e-bike, same thing. But Mac we're out here today in my yard, and Mac woke up maybe about an hour ago, so he's starting to he wants to cruise around. But I would love to just express that I wish I had a safe environment outside, a fenced in wood fence, solid fence that went into the ground so nothing could get under the fence in a hurry, and tall enough, and so that if the lizard panicked, he couldn't get to the fence and easily climb up it. And then I would have, in that backyard, and also too, making sure there's not any holes, any plumbing that's open or anything where they could get into and you could lose them. That's my biggest fear about bringing him outside now, is that if he got on the ground and he got spooked, he would be gone. There would be no way to get him back. No way. I've done that before, and in a couple of scenarios where I didn't make videos, and I'm not going to go into that detail because of the longevity it would take, but it was just terrifying to lose Mac or Sassy. So when I bring them outside, I don't get them anywhere near the ground level, because when they get on the ground, it's like a whole different world for them. I don't know why he doesn't panic when he's in my arms or my hands or on my shoulder, and we walk around and all kinds of sounds. But as soon as you put them on the ground and they look up at you, I could hold him out and he can see me, and we're in a different light. He's not panicked. But as soon as he's on the ground and he looks up at me, poop hits the fan. And he becomes a terror. And trying to catch one of these guys that can run 20, 30 miles an hour, always loud vehicles in my neighborhood. But so I always want to have a good grasp on him because I don't have a fenced in area. But look at him as he wants to climb. And I thought this was so cool. I brought him out. His nails are so made, and look how he blends in with the tree. And this is a Texas tree, Dallas, Texas. So look how he blends in so well with the tree. I wish I could let him climb up and sit back in a chair and watch him. I just scares me to death that he could freak out. But look at him climb. So neat to have your reptiles outside. It's about 93, 94, 95. It's a hot day, and in the sun it would be easily 100, 101. But it'd be so great to be able to let him spend 3 or 4 hours outside in the natural light and climbing on a natural tree. I think that in general just would extend his life, where they say these live 15 to 18 years, that would be a guarantee of a healthy Tegu, mentally and physically, to have them out here, and the stimulation that this outside provides. Nothing like being indoors in a terrarium or a cage, or just indoors without everything that's going on, and the fresh air and the actual UVB of the sun, which is, even under this tree we're getting UVB because of the reflections from all the surrounding objects. But look at Mac, this is like Disneyland for a child. But look at him. When I brought him out earlier, after he woke up, he wanted to climb up, and I just couldn't let him. There's just no way that I would release his tail, maybe for just a split second, and let him hang because it would be detrimental. I could not explain how unhappy I would be after raising this Tegu for a year and 3 months, and everything I've done, and all the money I've spent on lights and food, and just everything, my personal being of my love that I could put onto an animal to make sure they're healthy and they're happy. And I'm sure everyone else does the same with their Tegus. And I also just want to explain, because when I make a video, I try to focus on one little thing, because they can get so long. But when I feed him in the diet, like in my past video where I just mentioned chicken hearts and 2 fruits and a leafy green, Mac gets 70 different things within a month. He'll get 15, 20 different kinds of fruit. I can't have everything on hand at one time. It's when I go to the grocery store and I'm feeding myself. I tend to like the same food. I'm not a big green eater myself, but fruit, meat, fish. I go out in the neighborhood and catch a very specific snail, a large, the garden snails, and they're in the big round shells, and they get really juicy. And a lot of my neighbors' yards where these snails go, they don't use pesticides. And then I boil my snails. I don't boil my earthworms that I catch. I don't feed them a lot of earthworms, but I have fed them. They love earthworms. Or you can go to a bait shop. I mean, there's just a little bit of a level of risk when you feed them insects that you just are not raised in captivity, and because they can get parasites. So I boil my snails 6 to 8 minutes, at 180 degrees, and they love these snails. I'll crack their shells open, even though they could probably crack their shells. Some of the snail shells are just really tough. Even when I take a pair of pliers to them, I almost struggle. So I will feed them snails, and they love that. Fish, the right kind of fish. I've read articles, there's certain vitamins or certain elements in eggs and fish and white fish that are not good for Tegus, and I've even read that it can kill them. Citrus fruits, like an orange. Now, I didn't know that, but I reread that, and so I'm going to be really mindful and not feed him any oranges slices, because I like oranges. But the fish, there's certain fish you can feed them and certain fish you can't. And there's an element in the fish that will, it's not good for your Tegu lizards from South America. But there are a lot of fish that are. And also there's a lot of vegetables that you can't feed these, and there are some vegetables that you can. And I've included those on other videos, and I'll include them on this one too in the caption or below. But Mac is such a cool lizard, and I just love my lizards, so I want to share with everybody. And the sounds in my neighborhood are off the chart, but this mic does a pretty good job of capturing my voice, and not that, but you will hear some of that. But Mac just wants to go roam. Just look at how cool. And his nails are worn down. If his nails were wild Tegu nails, he could climb this like an iguana maybe. This is risky. Woo! Just got to be so careful. I've seen this before. They're calm, and then all of a sudden they're not calm. And these lizards can run on their rear legs like a dinosaur, or Tyrannosaurus Rex, or whatever. I'm not fluent on my dinosaur names, but they can run on their rear legs and probably hit 30 miles an hour for a football field. And I got lots of cars and lots of traffic, and he would get squashed like a grape. But it's just so cool to get your reptiles outside, whether it's your snakes or your lizards. But you got to just be really, really careful and mindful of your lizard's personality and the possibility of some things going wrong or going south really quick. And that's not what I want to have happen. He's just looking around, flicking his tongue, just having a blast. Now, having him in a tree, it's probably a little better because he's not on the ground. Obviously, our reptiles, lizards they feel vulnerable when they're on the ground. So when they're up, I mean, they have a sensory perception of being up higher, and then rather than being flat on the ground, whatever organ that is, they're just really sensitive and have a really good awareness. So maybe being in here in the tree, we wouldn't run into him in a panic situation and changing into threat mode or an aggression mode. Not aggression, because it wouldn't be aggression, it'd be a defensive mode. And I do not want to ever be bit by Mac again in a defensive mode, because I have a video, and maybe I'll link that at the end, where I had to get him under control so he didn't get away when I brought him when he was maybe 2 feet long. Now he's 3 feet 3 inches long, and I just never want to be bit like that again on my hand, or not be prepared with like welder's gloves. Don't want to be bit at all. But he just is hanging out. And this blends in really well with whatever tree this is. I can't remember what it's called, but I would love just to pull up a chair, you know, with a fenced, very, very secure area in a yard, someone else's yard that I knew, and be able to pull up a chair and just let him walk around for an hour, and not have any fear or any regrets that he could get hurt. But he's just chilling right here. Maybe I'll take the camera around. I just got to be real careful because he could bolt in a moment's notice. Got a lot of trust. I mean, he could just see me and all of a sudden see me as a threat and decide, nope, I've had enough. You just really got to read him, because I don't take him outside. I'm not going to risk. This is the first time in 7 months that I brought him out and taken him off my shoulder and put him on something and released him from my grip. I do have a little bit of a grip on his tail on the backside. Just like I said, my life would be changed very drastically if Matt got away, or he ran out in the street and got crushed, or went down a gutter. It'd be gone. It'd be so terrifying. He seems to be pretty chill. But that's the video. It's going to be long enough. I think it's a good idea to try to get your reptiles outside as much as you can and do it safely. So other than that, my name is Brian, and again, I just love making videos and sharing them with people. Let me know your comments, and tell me about your tegus. I love to hear people's tegus and share their stories and experiences. So don't feel like you shouldn't do that on my channel. I'd love for more people to comment and share their experiences, okay? Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye. So cool that, before I go, they have like alligator eyes, and I can't recall if all reptiles, lizards have that, but they have the eyelids that go up, and then they have the eyelid that slides back, as you can see that right there. So they have the two, maybe this is the main protector, and then the one that slides back is a wiper. I don't know. I'm not a herpetologist or a biologist or a zoologist, so I don't know. I just want to more handle my reptiles and just enjoy them than to do a whole bunch of college study and learn everything about them. But yep, that's it. I'm gonna take him down now. Bye-bye.